Hey, welcome back to Music with Todd Ledbetter. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hey, I got something that's a little different, and this involves me and a buddy of mine. Salty Rose is a friend of mine. He used to play in one of my cover bands, guitar, and he also played guitar in my one of the bands my son was in a number of years ago too. And that's where I met him playing guitar for Dion Derricks and the Melody Joy Bakers, and then he played in my band Wishbone. It was a cover band. We played for it was going for about 5 years. He was in it for about a year. It was like really the best period of the band was when Salty Rose was playing guitar on one side and Ray Jarique was on the other side playing guitar. And that was really, we did some great club nights, having a lot of fun. Anyways, but to explain this video, and that's just who Salty Rose was. Okay, my chickens are freaking out. My computer's freaking out, and we're going to get through this. So this is Salty Rose was contacted by Nick from Tonewolf amps. Okay, so this is kind of an amp review. If you're a guitarist, you may be interested. The bass, he's modified the 5F6A amp. I think it's like it's a bass amp from Fender that's very popular with guitarists, and I know blues guitarists really like it, and they convert it in different ways. And so this guy from Tonewolf has converted it, and so he wanted Salty Rose to he wanted him to make a review. So Salty wanted to get together with a band and test it out live. So he called me and Tony Cicero from Ventura. He's a Ventura Drum Academy owner. He teaches drums. And so we did some jamming. We went to this lockout space. They have a rehearsal room and kind of a party room or whatever. And so Salty would just start playing something and we would just kind of join right in. And then he cuts off into the interview with Nick from Tonewolf, and then at the end there's a few more clips of us playing some different styles of music, kind of bluesy, sort of AC/DC kind of like sounding things, and there was a little jazz thing at the end. But a pretty cool video. Just kind of gives you an eye. It's a friend of mine, so I want to promote his video, but also it's just me. It's me doing something. Maybe you'd be interested in me hearing me play or seeing me play or anything like that. Even though it's just kind of like we were just jamming stuff. And we played for about an hour and 20 minutes or so. All right, so let's get right on into it. Why don't we? Let's get the ball rolling. I talked long enough about this that you probably already tuned out. Tonewolf amps, yeah, Bassman amp. Nick Bracamonte. Tony Cicero, Ventura Drum School. I said academy, I guess it's school. And that's me. That's where you are right now.
I got the Tonewolf here. Tell me about this amp.
It's just like a Tweed, a 5F6A Bassman. But I did a little changes. I use KT88 tubes. Those tubes are a little bit bigger, so I used a little bit bigger, higher voltage on the power transformer and a little bit bigger output transformer than would typically be with this kind of 5F6A. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it looks cool. I dig the logo plate you put on there. That's Mojo Tone cabinet.
Yeah, Mojo Tone cabinet. Two Jensen, 10-inch Alnico speakers, and then 2 ceramic warehouse speakers on the bottom. Yeah, a couple little mods here and there. Oh, yeah, I modded one channel. Because on a typical Bassman, the channels are the same.
Right.
Except this one just has a bright cap on the pot. So I made this one a little more martially toned.
The normal
the
channel?
normal channel, yeah.
Okay, so, and it's got a master volume.
Yeah, and a master volume. Post-phase inverter, master volume.
Okay, no standby switch.
No, because the way it's set up, they're not really good for these amps. They have a tube rectifier. So hot switching tube rectifiers is not good. So I got rid of it. That way I can move over. There's a ground switch here. Got rid of that because it's 3-wire cord. So I put the power switch over there, covered that up, put the master right here.
Okay.
Convenience. 'Cause a lot of times if you modify like an original, you have to put the master, you have to either drill a hole somewhere or put it on the bottom, and it's inconvenient.
Okay.
Yep.
So KT88 power tubes, a bigger transformer.
Yeah, because KT88s can handle a lot higher voltages, and I wanted to take advantage of using those tubes. So it has a higher voltage on the power transformer, and it's also larger, so it can deliver more, current to the tubes, so more power. And the output transformers, it's just a little bit bigger. It's basically a Bassman one though. It's
And what about the preamp tubes?
preamp tubes.
Like a Bassman typically uses the
12AY.
12AY7.
Yeah, I have a 12AX7 in here. So, but because 12AYs are a little bit hard to come by right now because of the whole tube situation.
Okay, right.
Sounds fine with the AX7, but if you want to put a 12AY, you can do it, no problem.
Make it sound a little more Bassman-y.
Yeah, it takes off a little bit of the gain.
Okay, and then the other thing you mentioned to me was the raw switch.
Raw switch, yeah. So raw switch is pretty common mod. You can do it to like any Marshall or Fender. It just disconnects the ground from the middle pot to ground. That's the ground reference for the tone stack. When you remove that ground, it disconnects the tone stack in it, and it basically causes more overdrive because there's less signal attenuation. It also removes all the EQ that the tone stack will do. So it kind of, gives you kind of a raw
Hand-wired
signal. It's not
How do these guys know all
affected
this
by the
stuff?
tone stack at all.
They
So
know
it
what kind of
boosts it too.
the tubes are called.
Well, when I test it, I'm going to use the Fender Esquire that bypasses the tone pot on the guitar. So I thought,
and see, it's kind of the same idea. So anytime you put a pot on a guitar, or you're loading down the signal. So by removing it, it's just basically you're connecting the pickup directly to the output. Well, I still has the volume pot, so
we'll get that raw switch as raw as we can.
yeah, that's it.
That's basically it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
It's time to rock this thing.
Little blues. So he's trying different guitars, Salty is, and with the different styles of music, different settings on the amp. Another guitar. It's like a Strat. I started sitting down because it wasn't my amp. Kind of messing around with a jazzy kind of thing. Anyways, the amp would vibrate, and I turned around. It was right behind me. I was standing way in front, like up where Salty is, in front of the drums. And the bass amp scootered all the ways up there. So I sat on it. Not thinking about the video, not remembering what was going on. Alright, raw switch. pure rock tone. This is a song that Salty Rose wrote, or at least part of it. Tonewolf amps. I hadn't heard of Tonewolf amps before, but then as soon as Salty Rose sent me this video, told me it was up, I started getting like other videos from Tonewolf amps. So it was weird. I was like, oh, okay. You know how those internet spies on you, knows what you're thinking and what you're seeing. And is that it? That's the guy running the studio. Got his ears plugged. Nice. All right. Yeah, that guy told me he was in a band too, and he was going to send me some music to review. We'll see what happens. So that was a fun day. It was, just kind of called me a couple days before that happened. I said, yeah, I'll make some time and I'll come down there and do that. I was familiar with where the studio was because I'd rehearsed in there before. Rented it out when I was getting my the Wishbone cover band started. And we were going through some changes through players. And so I needed to get a couple rehearsals done with some new guys. And then we hardly ever rehearsed. And then that was it. We pretty much never rehearsed again, even though the different people changed. I got different guys after that. Cool spot to have locally. Lots of lockouts for different people to rent, and they can go in anytime they want. And they have a couple of big rooms too, so you can do some bigger events and things like that. So that's a fun local spot for musicians for sure. I mean, really handy. People can give lessons in there and in their little lockouts and things like that. So anyways, thought, something a little different. It was fun to take part in Salty Rose's review of the amp. And I just thought I'd pass it along and show it to you. My computer is making so much noise. That's what that is. And I'm like beating on it to make it stop. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Let me know what you think of the Tonewolf amp, or if you've heard of it before, and leave a comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And if you want to help the channel out, you can go over to Ko-Fi and recommend a song perhaps you want me to review, or even Patreon. So join me over there as well. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.